begin. Welcome, everyone. Happy Friday. I'm the Grace Strega, and I'm here to give you your daily collective read for today, Friday, March 7th, 2025. What do we have coming? Woof! What do we have coming through in the cards for today? I'm sorry, the cards all fell down, so I had to pick them up. We've got 3 cards that we're starting out today, and these are the 3 cards, and they're all transverse. So I need to go through these, and then we'll get to the other cards in today's spread. We've got the Ace of Cups in its transverse, with the 7 of Pentacles in its transverse, in combination with the 4 of Cups in its transverse. So the best way I can describe what we're experiencing right now, there's a lot of this work that we need to navigate as it relates to recognizing and identifying what feels like it is energetically productive versus what feels like it is not. There is heavy work that is occurring in relationality to, and I keep on hearing like not getting something twisted, because a lot of this work that we're seeing that's happening right now has to do in the space of alignment. There's a lot, I'm getting here, there's a lot of alignment shifts that are happening right now. And what do we characterize as foundational to understanding what feels like it is energetically productive versus what is not? We talked a lot about this. This is a lot of the work that we saw that was a culmination of the work that occurred or was starting during that Mars retrograde period. The identification point that, and we're going to move back into a lot of those lessons, understanding that the work of a warrior is not one that you put your effective force towards everything around you. You recognize and identify what feels like it is in alignment to you, and you effectively surrender what is not, right? And we talked a lot about that continuation as well in relationality to surrender, because a lot of that work that we're seeing to a certain extent, the best way I can describe it is we talked about the fact that surrender is not about giving up. Surrender is identifying and recognizing those spaces and places that it feels like we insist upon. Because what occurs in the spaces that we feel like we are insistent, right? And we've talked a lot about this too. The emotions want to insist. The emotions want to see what it is that they aspire and desire to see. But when we're in a place of looking at something with clarity, right? Those clarifying moments that we see, it's not that everything that we see there is positive, but it's that same space. And sometimes I need to point out, like I keep on hearing the gift of Aries coming through, is working through, I keep on getting the joy and disappointment that often occurs in relationality to whether someone gets it or whether another person is just in that space where it feels like we're talking to a brick wall, right? And a lot of this, and I keep on seeing that a lot of this work is also feeling like the culmination of path work to a certain extent, right? I keep on, and this is having a profound, I just need to stress this. It feels like it's having a profound impact on energy and separation. Because what I'm really seeing, especially with the migration, with these cards appearing and the migration of so much energy coming out of Pisces and moving into Aries, I keep on seeing that there's a lot of work that's happening for the energy and separation as it relates to the things that the emotions would aspire to see versus what a person is actually receiving, right? And that's why I keep on hearing that for a lot of the energy right now in separation, it feels like you're straddling. Like if you feel like you're caught between worlds, or it feels like you're straddling between something from the past and something from the present, I keep on getting that there's a lot of this and I need to point this out. Sometimes when it feels like we are having, and this is a bit of the gift of Gemini actually, when we have the same conversation with someone, right? It's in that moment that it feels like we're straddling moments and we're having a conversation with someone. And at one point, the things that we're bringing forth feel like they're creating impasses. They feel like they're creating dead ends. Versus those moments and then those are the moments that frustrate us. They like it's like it feels like we're pushing against something. Versus those moments that we're having the same exact conversation, the same exact conversation with another. And it's like the silence that almost another reaches. It says, you don't have to tell me. I know exactly what you mean. I know exactly what you feel, right? That moment that like allows for progress. What's interesting is I keep on hearing that some of the work, the reason that this feels like it's Virgo energy is that a lot of the lessons that we're working through right now is coming in the space of understanding the difference in silence, right? The silence that feels, I keep on getting the silence that feels deafening, right? The silence that it feels like no matter what we say, we are not heard. No matter what we say, another does not seem to connect to us. Versus the silence that occurs when we try to say something and another person says, I know, right? Like that energy that like renders you like in that moment that like, you know, like it feels like a relief. It feels like there's everything in the silence because it is the expression point of looking at another and understanding, seeing that moment in their eye wherein they get it, right? And that's why I see that for a lot of the energy and separation right now, there's a lot of potential karmic closure that's happening. And at the same time, new energetic connections, right? And this is going to have a different impact. And a lot of it, and I keep on hearing that the reason that this is occurring is, and especially if there's something that's coming back, the differentiation of, again, the difference between surplus and transformation, right? Having a lot of something does not change something, right? Simultaneously, I'm seeing a lot of that same space of understanding the difference between admission and transformation. Admitting you feel something isn't effectively transformative. It doesn't mean that something has changed, right? And that's why I keep on seeing the fact that there is some kind of moment here that may be happening that feels like a breakthrough for one. But often in those moments that another person comes towards us to tell us something that we already knew, right? It doesn't feel so much like it transforms us, even though it feels like it transforms them. Because again, being in a healthy space, the ability to articulate how one is feeling, right? It's not just about being able to experience and talk about how one feels. It's about saying what the direction is, where something is going, right? Center card for, and that's happening across all of the frequencies. For the energy coming into divine union, this is the observation of the past. This is seeing some kind of context wherein another can see the difference between the partnerships that felt like there was something that could have healed there versus a total energetic impasse. And that's why I keep on seeing that is why this is having the impact of them connecting and holding those points of apology, right? Saying, should the divine day ever come that I could give them forward or ask for one, I will, but I'm not chasing after them, right? While for energy that is deep within divine, because this is the energy that understands the difference, that when we get something off of our chest, it sometimes can feel like staggering to the person that receives it. While for masculine and feminine, deep within divine union right now, I just keep on seeing that for a lot of this energy deep within divine union, it's interesting. It feels like there's a lot of Aries energy here, but it also feels like there's some Libra energy coming through, right? Because I keep on seeing that there's a lot of work, and we're going to have to unpack this as we do these cards, in relationality to moderation, or in relationality to creating balance, right? Like there's a lot of this work in terms of understanding what feels like it is energetically sustainable versus what feels like it's not. And that's why I feel like there's a lot of this. Remember how I said that there's a lot of energy in that space circumnavigating conversations? Because I keep on hearing that for a lot of the energy deep within divine union, it is the amplification of regulating and understanding what another person is like, what feels nourishing to another. Like it's more of that space that says that like the relief that we give each other is that we feel like we're on the same page. And when we're on the same page, it sometimes can feel frustrating when we're talking, we have to talk to one another about something that we wish we could bring forth to another. Because I just keep on hearing that person's not ready for the conversation, right? Second card in our 5-card spread. Yep, there's a lot of that. There's a lot of that 6 of Swords in its reversal. I just keep on seeing that there's a lot of the energy with the 6 of Swords in its reversal, that there's a lot of this consideration of looking back at the past. And I want to say that for some of the energy here, that is what feels like it's productive. Being able to look at something and appreciate how far one has come. Being able to see with clarity how much one has changed. That's what we appreciate when we're on a good healing journey, right? We celebrate that transformation. We celebrate when we have those moments, like I keep on seeing a lot of energy being like the old me wouldn't have be responding to this that way, right? The new me is, right? There's a lot of that work that has to do with recognizing and healing from past trauma here. And I need to point out, like, one of the things that was coming through very heavily right now, and this is what's difficult about healing trauma, is when we are energetically traumatized, from things that do not make sense. And the way that we can identify what feels like it's healing versus what feels like it's hurtful is often when you are in a truly traumatizing circumstance, there's no sense that you can bring forth to a situation to heal it. You can come towards someone with all the reason and rationale in the world, but again, that's the problem. Like when you are reasonable in an unreasonable place, it makes you feel like you are the one that is in error, right? And that's why I keep on seeing that there's a lot of that work in relationality to conversations built upon and based upon healthy energetic distance. And what's beautiful about that work is I keep on seeing, and we talked a lot about this, and this is why it's having a different impact on masculine and feminine energy. For masculine energy, I see that this is a time period that masculine is feeling more gregarious. They're feeling more of that desire to be like opening up oneself, right? Because when the masculine energy is in a space of healing, it allows for that ability of the masculine to feel safe and secure in articulating their feelings. They don't feel like articulating their feelings move them further from their masculinity, right? Because this is the masculine energy that understands and embodies that journey. Like when masculine, like the articulation of masculine energy being secure is effectively the security that one feels in the framework of the self. You don't need to look at it outside of the self. You feel very comfortable within it, right? And so that's why I see that for a lot of the masculine energy, this could even be conversations in relationality to other masculine energy, because like again, it's giving me a lot of that feeling of, I keep on hearing camaraderie for masculine energy. For feminine energy, this is pathwork of refinement right now, right? Because this is a lot of that heart chakra work. And for feminine energy, if this is feminine energy that's healing from those spaces or places where the feminine felt like that they're called, that they were letting others down if they're not giving and giving and giving and giving and giving and giving and giving, right? This is the feminine going through the same pathwork by saying, I am not cake. Right? Like not everyone deserves a slice. It's not the space of the feminine effectively opening up during that heart clearing. It becomes one where the feminine is holding those energetic boundaries. And I keep on seeing that some of the volatility that may be happening here has to do with the feminine energy that articulates and says, never have I felt safer when another person honors the feminine's no, right? Because there's a lot of this work that I keep on seeing that's happening right now, especially with the surplus of emotion, which is effectively saying that like love is not the force where you feel something, right? Love is the force of actively listening to what another experiences as love and serving it. This is why we say that love serves, because love serves because it's like tennis. Love serves because effectively what happens is love is not what, like when you're giving something to another and it feels good to give it, right? You know, as like that is good, but love is in the context of listening to what another amplifies is what feels like love to them, right? And it's in that moment that we modify. It's in that moment that we shape something that we know is for another, that often our love is most given, because it moves love out of this place that it serves the ego, right? It's not just something that feels good. It's something that another energetically desires, right? Feels good is good. Now, I keep on seeing that, like, and that's why I keep on seeing that as it relates to some of these situations moving into the energy that is in separation, right? Like, I keep on hearing a lot of this message that says, why won't you let me love you? That's coming through for energy and separation. But it's that word, right? It's the let word, right? Because when we say let, what we basically say is, I'm not actively listening to you, right? I'm not asking what love feels like for you. I'm asking for permission to give you something potentially oppositional to what it is that you're asking for, right? Well, and that's why I see even now there's a lot of healing that's happening as it relates to energy that is building together in the context of feeling like they are on the same page, right? The energy that says, you know, tell me, like asking those questions, right? Like building into that sense of getting to know one another, understanding. They're working to understand what love feels like to each other. While there is some energy right now that are closing chapters as it relates to another coming towards them in a way that is only feeling like it serves the ego instead of paying attention to what another person is saying or asking for. Center card in our 5-card spread. And this, oh man, like there's gonna be so many. And here's the thing, there's like, we're moving, and like that's why all these cards are flying out, because we're moving in right now into eclipse season. And the thing with eclipse season, I need to stress this, it's not that eclipse create things that aren't there. It amplifies how we're feeling. It like cranks the volume up. It cranks the volume up to like 11. Right now, I got to tell you, the first 3 cards that we started our spread with today were the Ace of Cups, the 7 of Pentacles in its transverse, and the 4 of Cups in its transverse. Now in the center, we've got 3 more cards that just flew out of the deck. We've got the 10 of Pentacles in its upright, the 7 of Cups in its upright, and the Lovers in its upright. Right? So I keep on seeing there's a lot of things that are like, I keep on seeing there's a lot of karmic release that's happening, but what's so difficult about some of that karmic release is it's happening at the same time as there is an energetic uplift. At the same exact time, and this is because of the Jupiter and Gemini energy, at the same exact time, because the clarity that one is receiving in relationality, like I keep on seeing the gift that's happening across the frequencies, is recognizing what feels like it is moving in a productive fashion, right? Where we see progress versus something that has reached the limitation point of another's patience, right? Like there's a lot of, there's like a lot of that work here. And I keep on seeing, and that's why I keep on hearing across the frequencies that it's not that situations don't have patience, but patience is infinite, so long as patience is met by progress. And that's why healthy relationships, we find that ability to be forever patient, because it never feels like we're being patient, because the patience, right? The exhalation of the patience is always met with the inhalation of progress, right? It's always seeing that something is moving in the direction that one desires it to. And that's why I keep on seeing that there's a lot of that closure that may be happening across frequency right now. And this is why it may feel somewhat volatile, because I see a bunch of energy that's potentially letting go of something because they've lost patience. And when we lose patience, we can't control that. It's not within. It's not a failing point to not have more patience, right? It's not a failing point, but others will often try to accuse you of not being patient enough when you've reached that limit, that limitation. Right. And that's why I see a lot of energy saying, like, trying to like hold somewhere, blame another for not being patient enough right now, while another person is feeling like, again, that is the patience that is self-preservation. Right. When we lose patience to such an extent that it feels like we are energetically exhausted, and this is why I keep on seeing, and we move away from something, I keep on hearing the guides say, pay attention to the difference between abandonment and self-preservation. Because often when someone has created a context by which we've had to be patient, right? And then we move away from it, and then they say we're not being patient enough, or they're feeling abandoned. Like, that's the energy that we have to recognize. Like, that is the energy that says, like literally, it's the energy that tests. There are relationships that test, that are constantly testing our patience to try to expand the patience, right? Recognize the manifestations that make one feel like one needs to learn how to disassociate in the process. Just get a little bit more numb, right? Like when someone says, like, you're not patient enough, what they're really saying is you just need to become a little bit more numb, right? Because you're not seeing the progress that would respirate the patience. I just want you to become like more unfeeling in this so you don't have to feel it, right? And so that's why I keep on seeing that there's a lot of this energy that I see right now that's saying enough of this, right? And if that's the energy that says I have a lot of it, the energy saying a lot of it doesn't fix enough of this, right? If someone says I feel a lot for you and it's not, and it's problematic, and that's why I keep on hearing the energy that says a surplus is not a fix, right? Saying that you need a fix, and another person says I have a lot of this, and you saying that I need something to fix, and they say I have a lot of this. This is the energy that says there's nothing logical here. You're bringing something illogical here. It doesn't fix it. The fact that you feel a lot for me is not progress. Progress is progress. So I keep on seeing a lot of this energy working in that context of feeling that weight, and that can feel frustrating. But the one benefit I'll see for a lot of the energy in separation is, and this has to do with some of the Jupiter energy the Gemini and Jupiter energy, being able to have a point of comparison. Having at the same time that energy that feels like you're working in a space of not getting anywhere, suddenly you're having the same conversation with someone and it feels like you're flourishing. It feels like things are expanding, right? It's often in that moment that we have that like revelation of the self and saying that person or that individual from the past, do they want the same things, right? Because this is the difference between words and actions. Often there are those that will say that they desire something, but will not show the ability to move towards it. Right? It's not just enough to say that you want something. The difference between a plan and a wish is how you move towards it. Continuing to get clarification, fourth and fifth card in our 5-card spread for today. Yep, Queen of Swords. I like to see her. And the Page of Cups. I like these two together. And I need to point this out. I like this. And remember I said that this is having a different impact on masculine and feminine energy, bearing in mind this is not based on gender, but what it feels most aligned to. Feels good is good, right? When we are in alignment, it doesn't mean that we embody the same mentality. It doesn't mean that we have to be in lockstep. But we have those moments in healthy partnership that we're able to look at one another and say, on this we can agree, right? On this we can agree. The ability to define the partnership, the ability to understand what one is creating and what one desires to create with another. You can't fake that, right? But often when energy is in a space where they don't understand themselves, or they're trying to create something that is not mutual, they will sometimes come into that space where it makes one feel conflicted, makes one feel confused, makes one feel like one is always trying to scramble to reach another person's approval. And this is where we get that message that was coming through, and the reminder that, again, healthy partnership is one that is not based upon expectation in each other. We surrender expectation as it relates to moving towards intention, because we understand that when we're moving towards intention, who we become on that journey is the delight and discovery of a healthy manifestation point. Whereas the unhealthy relationship is one wherein it's no intention, no clarity on where something is going, but continually trying to change another person. Sometimes even articulating and trying to say to another that you're not going to give intention until you see change, right? But that is that force that understands that coming into that context, working in that capacity, is one that, again, often is indicative of one person who does not desire to change anything at all, is almost trying to create, is already in the ideal situation that they desire, right? And when you're trying to change something that is another person's ideal, they will tell you that you are the problematic one, right? When they will tell you that you're bringing problems to places that they don't exist. because that is the energy that tries to say, like, I disbelieve in the illusion of what you're trying to create in this relationship, right? And that's why I keep on hearing the healthy relationship is one that there's no need to demystify, because everything is on the table, right? While for masculine and feminine energy that is coming into divine union, this is why I see this energy being in a space of carrying sacred apologies. Why are both masculine and feminine carrying sacred apologies as they move into divine union? This is the energy that looks back on the past and says, I'm not perfect. This partnership has perfected me. But is this the energy that says the partnership's perfect? No, the energy says the partnership has perfected me, because the partnership has perfected them because it feels like they can see things with clarity. And that clarity often brings the arrival of seeing what you would do differently in the past. But is this the energy running around like crazy, trying to give people apologies or receive them? No, because this energy understands energetic discernment. That often when we take something off of our chest, we implant it into the chest of another. This is the energy that says, should the day arrive that I can extend that apology or that forgiveness out, I will do so, but I will not seek it because it is not needed. This is why they become warriors, because they're holding those apologies in the space of saying they reside within me, right? They don't need to be given. The healthy apology is one that is lived, sometimes, if lucky, spoken. While for masculine and feminine, deep within divine union, a lot of this energy deep within divine union right now, I just keep on seeing a lot of this amplification in relationality as to what feels like is productive. And I'll tell you right now, this is a little bit of the disparity between the masculine and feminine right now, because I'm telling you, a lot of this heart healing, a lot of this heart chakra opening that we're seeing right now that's happening with this Virgo full moon. Masculine, becoming more gregarious, right? Feeling that ability of the masculine saying, I don't try to be masculine. I am masculine. Anything I do is masculine, right? Like that's a masculine energy healing in the space that, like, when the masculine heals, they don't try to be masculine. They understand that what they do embodies masculinity, right? A healthy energy, the healthy lesson is not one that one aspires to. It is one that one embodies, one becomes. So this is the masculine that feels that sense. And I keep on hearing the healthy masculine energy saying, my feelings, if I'm a masculine energy and I have feelings, those are not oppositional to masculinity. They're part and parcel to it, right? My security within my feelings makes me masculine. That is what is seen as healthy masculine energy. The security in feeling the ability to emotionally express what one feels. So I keep on seeing a lot of that masculine, feeling more like open in that space, right? Feeling that desire to share. Feminine, working on the exact opposite work, becoming more focused. This is a feminine that, if this is the feminine healing from those spaces that said you have to be for others, you have to be in a space that you are like, you must be available to all those around. You must help everyone. You must be in that space where you have to give yourself away and give yourself away and give yourself away. This is a feminine that says, like, this is a feminine saying, others will see me going into my villain era as I set those energetic standards. Others who felt like they wanted to use me will see me as a villain when all I am doing is articulating upon my needs, because this is the feminine that says, a feminine energy, what others may perceive as a healthy feminine energy is a feminine that says yes to everything. But a feminine energy says, no, never do I feel more secure, loved, and sacred than in a space that my no is held in the highest of esteem by those that are around me. Continuing to get clarification between our 4 of Cups in its transverse, our 7 of Pentacles, our Ace of Cups in its transverse, in combination with our 6 of Swords in its reversal. We've got our Wheel of Fortune, right? And so this is why I see that for a lot of this energy right now, there's so much of this work. And I have to stress this. This is why it feels so important, because I keep on seeing that there's a lot of the conversationality right now in relationality to what is precious, right? And I need to point out there's a big difference between holding something precious because one is afraid versus holding something precious because one is brave. You'll recall we had to learn and do a lot of that work in relationality to the Mars and retrograde cycle, right? Why do we do shadow work? We do shadow work to confront our fear. You can never escape fear. Fear is everywhere. Anywhere you go, the fear will be there, right? Our ability to face our fear does not mean that we run towards it full tilt, right? It does not mean that we avoid it, right? It is the ability to feel the sense of understanding that we are brave enough to face the things that we are afraid of, right? And it is that ability of doing so, that confidence in the self, that is so sacred, right? But again, often there are those who try to build into that space where they try to say that another is not precious for being able to embody that bravery. And in those moments, they articulate and say that you hold nothing precious, failing to recognize the difference between what one holds precious because it is important versus what another says is precious, but really amplifies something that they're too afraid to face. So I keep on seeing that there's a lot of this energy right now that is feeling that sense of being invested in a conversation and saying, are you actually listening to what you are saying, or are you actually listening to what I am saying? Right? Because sometimes we have conversations with someone and we realize that we cannot communicate with them because they are too afraid to open up to receive a healthy conversation, right? And often in those moments, it feels like a tragedy because it's in those moments that we feel that desire to try to communicate something to another, but it's like, it's like listening to everything with earmuffs because one hasn't done the work in being able to be aware of oneself, right? And when we're in that space, like nothing is more tragic than when one is too afraid to face the self, right? Because that's where we often create our energetic boogeymen. That's where we start projecting it onto others, right? That's that moment where the ego wants to say, you're bad. Okay, why am I bad? You're bad. Okay, tell me why. You're bad. What have I done? And what they're really saying is, you've made me afraid. You've made me afraid, and my ego has taken over. And I am now projecting, or I'm internalizing. Same force, right? You have that conversation with someone. They say, I'm bad. And you say, what? You go, well, what are you talking about? We can't do this. I'm bad. It's me. I'm terrible. I'm terrible. It's the same thing. What happens in that moment? Can't communicate. Can't hear everything, right? Because either in the space of projecting or the space of internalizing, what is the resounding chord? Me. Me, right? And when we get in that space, it often feels like we're having those moments that takes our breath away because it feels like we don't get into the space of being able to do something that's energetically productive. When we focus over much on the self, or when we focus too much on blaming others, we find our hands become free, right? And that's all we're saying. My hands can't do anything. My hands can't do anything, right? But when we're in that space of working in the context of the self, like that is what allows for productivity. And I keep on seeing that there's a lot of this work that's occurring right now as it relates to the energy and separation in having conversations that either feel like they're repeating over and over again, not getting anywhere. The wheels that spin in the mud, right? That don't go anywhere, versus at the same time building into the conversation with a connection where finally something is going somewhere, where someone says, you don't need to explain that, I'm already up to speed, finishing another sentence saying, oh, you're triggering me in talking about it because the energy says I know it all too well. And this is why I keep on seeing that for a lot of the energy coming into divine union right now, this is the energy that says, I'd like it, but I don't need it. It would be nice, but it's not necessary. Because when we reach a point of healing, we don't need another apology. We don't need an apology from someone, right? When we come to a point in healing, we know what happened, right? And often like that space of apology, it would be nice, but it's not necessary. This is the energy that sees something with clarity, and that's why they're utilizing discernment as to whether that same force, right, that healing force, when we put healing force in places it does not desire to go, this is often why we say trauma does not occur in a space of someone trying to hurt us. Often the trauma comes in someone trying to love us, but not being attentive to what love might feel like for us, right? We are conscientious as to what feels like it's healing versus what feels like it's not. So there's a lot of that discernment that I see that is occurring right now for a lot of the energy deep within divine union. The energy, coming into divine union, the energy deep within divine union, this is the energy that is applying that I keep on seeing active pressure in places it matters. Like it feels like pressure points. I feel like a lot of this energy deep within divine union is recognizing what feels like it's productive versus what feels like it's not. And this is why the energy is like effectively circumnavigating, because it's kind of keep on hearing they're circumnavigating out of love, right? Like they're circumnavigating in a space of understand, or like they're either circumnavigating or they're getting right to the heart of something, because this is the energy that I keep on seeing is being conscientious as to what feels like it moves something into a place of intentionality, right? And that's why I keep on seeing that the energy is being brave, because this is the energy that doesn't look at something and say, this is my standard going forward. This is what I bring to everything. This is the energy I keep on hearing case by case basis. Like I keep on hearing case by case basis, because it is the observation of what feels when, like, this is the energy that says, again, that space of productivity is different depending on the relationship, depending on the person, right? Like this is embracing love by almost identifying like what that looks like and what another person needs, right? Continuing to get clarification between our 6 of Swords in its reversal in combination with our 10 of Pentacles, our 7 of Cups, and our Lover's card in its upright. May I please have one card to clarify? Clarification coming through right now with our Knight of Pentacles in its reversal. This is the frustration. I'm going to tell you right now, the thing with this energy, everybody's patience, little tiny nub, not a lot of patience right now. And the thing is, with all these planets moving into Aries, I wish I could tell you that like suddenly everyone's going to become more patient. Everybody's losing patience with things because Aries do not. Aries lessons are all about patience. Like it's all about working through the fact that patience is a gift that we give to those around us. So I keep on seeing that, like a lot of like navigating a lot of this stuff right now. I want to describe this. It's like, it's frustrating. It's like working through frustration. And I keep on seeing like the difficulty with the Virgo retrograde is it's creating a lot of perceptual distortions, right? Being very like looking at a space of being very overly hard on oneself in the process. So again, I'm going to say this, like blame does not serve anything helpful, right? It is the space or the power to identify and recognize like what feels energetically helpful. And often I need to point this out. Like when others try to get in a space of blaming another, what they're really saying is like, you have to take care of it. I'm not going to take care of it. I don't need to do that work. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's why I keep on hearing blame in a way is the laziest of accusations, because it's the energy that says, not only is it your fault, but I don't want to do anything about it. Right. And that's why I keep on hearing healthy relationship is where blame does not exist. Now there is accountability, right? Accountability is one taking ownership upon something, one embodying those responsibilities. But a lot of that work that I see, and this is why I keep on hearing, I feel like there's something for a lot of the energy in separation where if someone's coming back towards you and they're just in a space of blame, like this is the energy that almost says, like, and this is why, and again, I need to point this out, like this has been coming through really important right now too. And Aries is big on this, right? Okay, so here, listen up, because this is going to be like, this is a tenet situation. Okay. One, we are not we cannot control how we feel about each other. I could do everything under the sun right now. I could do everything under the sun to try to get you to try to become your best friend, right? And you might just like, again, don't like it, right? You might just decide again, might not like me, might not like me, right? You can't blame me for the fact that you don't like me. Why? Because I can't go into you, right? I can't go into that and change that, right? And that's why we're in a healthy space. If somebody's bothering us, we're usually able to amplify why. Because when we can't, it's usually the ego, right? They're triggering us. We're afraid of them, right? Like, and that's the thing. Like, nobody wants to say, I don't like them. Why? Because I'm afraid of them. Right? That's what we talk about with like the conversation someone can't have, because when their ego's too big and they're saying, I don't like them. Right. And you say to the ego, why? And you're like, no, I just don't like them. Right? Because what they're really saying is, I'm afraid of them. But the ability to articulate why one is afraid is usually the identification of helping one see. Like, and this is what we talk about with shadow work, right? When shadow work is literally having that conversation saying, why are you afraid of them? Okay. And why is that? Right? Getting to the heart of something to understand why another person triggers you, right? Is sometimes like when you do that journey, like, wow, I just learned something about myself, right? Like there's something like that's what we talk about with shadow work. It's understanding the context by which we feel the fear rises up, right? But when we're in that space and we're projecting, we avoid the hard work on ourselves, right? Because we say, we just feel a lot of something. And then we come up to someone and say, I feel a lot of something for you and it's your fault. Now, if I am not responsible, if there is nothing within me that has the ability to turn on or off the feelings you have, our feelings for each other are not each other's responsibility. So I can see a lot of energy right now going through some kind of context of someone coming towards them with too much ego. And then either saying, I am the worst, like over projecting inwards, right? And saying, feeling a lot of emotionality about how bad they are, or how much they've messed up, or simultaneously trying to put that in another person's doorstep. Say, look how much you've messed up. Look how much of, I'm still mad at you. I've got all these feelings for you. But again, putting something on another person's doorstep or over internalizing doesn't leave any, right? It's the energy that says the same thing. What are you going to do about it? Did you notice that? I'm the worst or you're the worst has the same imperative behind it. What are you, someone outside of me, going to do about it? Healthy partnership is not one that we over blame ourselves, nor do we project outwards, because we are mutually working in the pathwork of identifying what needs to be worked on instead of trying to get out of doing something. And that's why I keep on seeing a lot of this energy right now. There's some separations that are happening. And this is the energy saying it's not about feelings. It's about whether something can heal. It's about whether something can progress, right? Feelings don't fix things. Progress fixes things. Welcome to all the planets jamming up into Aries. These are all very strong Aries messages. Continuing to get clarification between our 10 of Pentacles, our 7 of Cups, and our Lovers in combination with our Queen of Swords. Ace of Swords. I love it. And here's the thing. I keep on seeing that for a lot of the energy deep within divine union, right? We love each other because we are strong for one another, right? The strength we find. I keep on seeing the strength that we find in relationality to identifying and understanding that love is a choice. And when we are secure in ourselves and we look towards one another, we say to one another that the true vow is every day I choose you. My choice is one that is always amplified upon choices. And because healthy love is driven upon honoring each other's choice, the choice that we give to love one another day after day after day, it's beyond words. It is that divine vow that we give to each other that articulates and expands upon that feeling of amplifying the beauty of love that says, I don't choose you because it's convenient. I choose you because I desire it to be, right? And so we keep on seeing that for a lot of the energy embodying these journeys right now, that feeling of strength. Like I keep on hearing there's a lot of the energy that feels that. And I'm not surprised to see this with all the energy moving from Pisces into Aries, The pride, the pride, like the sense of pride that we feel in building into an energetic connection with someone that is not only strong enough to amplify upon, like I keep on hearing, the space that says I love you, with like I love you in the power of being able to recognize that that is a choice that we make for one another, right? And that sense of stabilization, it feels like it brings the energy together. And I need to point this out because this is really beautiful, because especially with the Queen of Swords and the Page of Cups here, right? This is the beauty of the healthy connection, right? It allows the space of being able to become the person that one desires to become without feeling that need or that desire to please anyone in the process, right? Like this is the masculine that says to feminine, I adore you. Bearing in mind, this is not based on gender, but what one feels aligned to. This is the masculine that says to feminine, I adore you because in the space of you, I feel safe to let my inner child flourish. And understand that that does not move me farther from my masculinity. Never have I felt safer within it, right? For feminine, and this is the masculine saying the representation of healthy masculine is the masculine that feels the security to embrace their inner child, right? And not feel like one has to apologize for it. And not childish, not entitled, right? Childlike. While for feminine energy, this is the feminine that says to masculine, never have I felt more strong in knowing that not only do you respect my yes, but you respect my no. That ability of building into that context is such that I have the ability to choose. And the gift that you give me is one that even in like you're not looking towards me to be everything that you desire. You see me as a person because you identify and recognize and honor the space of my entirety. Because I keep on hearing the feminine says that the masculine that loves me in my yes, and they love me in my no. While for the energy right now coming into divine union, I keep on seeing that for a lot of this energy, that clarity, right? The relationship is one that provides a clarity of context in relationality of the past, right? The healthy relationship elevates you, right? And in that moment of elevation, the reason we say elevation is because you can see something more clearly, something you couldn't see before. And this is the energy of masculine, feminine changing in the wake of that. This is the feminine looking at something in the past and being like, there's a story of me trying to fix a bunch of stuff that did not want to get fixed. Like that's a feminine going, there is a story of me trying to fix things that did not want to get fixed. And then feminine going, and then getting blamed for it. And so there's a feminine getting blamed for it. And there's a lot of masculine energy here, of masculine looking back and saying, I was prioritizing the wrong things. I was being childish instead of childlike. And that's why I keep on seeing that these energies that are moving into divine union either feel the need for apologies or feel the need to give them, but they're not chasing after those places to deliver them. This is the energy that says, I will hold them dearly because a true apology is one that is lived. It does not need to be spoken, because sometimes in the act of speaking something towards another or chasing after them, a true apology is a plan. And this is the energy that says, I don't want to go to get something off my chest and have someone build into the misconception that I'm trying to open something in the process. While for masculine and feminine in separation right now, I keep on seeing lessons in silence. This is why it's a Virgo energy, because the lessons in silence is the silence in feeling the sigh in saying there's nothing left to say, the sigh that says, like that exhaustion point that feels like one recognizes what the hurdle is, right? Versus the intake of someone that it takes one's breath away when it says, when another is able to almost like interrupt you and say, you don't need to explain something to me. I'm going to explain it to you. I understand it perfectly because we are in alignment. Getting further clarity between our Queen of Swords in combination with our Page of Cups in its upright. One card to clarify, please. Clarification coming through right now with our Four of Pentacles. And this is how Aries, like, I know there's like a ridiculous amount of planets in Aries right now, but this is how Aries is helping. And I mean this with like utmost respect and love for Aries, but like, you know, in the realm of emotions, and this is the only thing that's going to be kind of hard right now, Aries don't have time for it. Aries doesn't have time for emotions. But and I need to point this out. It's not that Aries energy does not have time for emotions. Aries looks at whether emotions are productive or not. Right? Like, and that's what a lot of the shift from Pisces to Aries right now. I would not be surprised if energy is not like storming away from something really upset. Right? Because I keep on hearing Aries like almost saying nobody wants to work anymore. But it's like that space of identifying, like it's understand, like remember the, oh, that's why, thank you. Remember what I just said, right? Like that's why Aries is saying nobody wants to work anymore, because it's that space that like when we project outwards, right? And I need, like, when we project outwards or when we over internalize inwards, it doesn't allow a vector where we can fix something. It doesn't allow a vector to get something done. Right. And that's why I see even now, like, that's why the Aries, like the energy is such, because, you know, that ability of identifying, like I keep on seeing that ability of identifying where the work should go. I keep on hearing Aries say, I am willing to work, but only with someone that's willing to work with me, only with someone who understands and recognizes. Like I keep on hearing energy saying, I don't want to articulate about like why something is important. It should just be important, because this is why it's Virgo energy, because Virgo energy works in the space of the sacred. And that's why, again, there is something about the lesson that a lot of the energy and separation is having, which is saying that I keep on hearing the energy saying it shouldn't be this hard. When we're in alignment, like often it is articulated by the fact that it doesn't feel like we have to get into a tug of war as it relates to what it is that we want, right? Like that is that moment of smoothness, because it doesn't feel like, I keep on getting, the healthy relationship doesn't feel like a tug of war. It feels like a walk down the street. And this is the energy that's almost saying to another, like, and this is what's difficult about it. And this is why I keep on hearing the energy. And that's why I keep on getting something here. If somebody gave up something, like if someone said, I'm done, and only in the moment of someone saying they're done, another person says, here, give them something that they've been asking for. This is the energy that says it shouldn't have taken expiration to arrive at progress. Remember how I said that the healthy relationship, the patience is everlasting? The patience that one gives is always respired by the progress another earns back towards it. We give this back and forth to each other. It's the shared breath of partnership. Patience on something met by progress. Patience on something met by progress. If someone allows you to expire and then gives you what they're asking you for, it's like literally the symbolic representation of someone putting flowers on a grave. It feels almost insulting, because this is the energy that says you're giving me something that would have kept me, like would have sustained us, but you're only giving it as a momentum or token that amplifies the fact that you could have given it at any time. You only waited until this level or degree for something to occur. It almost makes it worse. I got the energy say it feels like it makes it worse. It's like the energy that says, like, instead of giving me flowers, you could have kept this alive, is what I keep on hearing the energy say. Instead of giving me flowers to say you're sorry, you could have given me breath, right? Like that's what they're basically saying. Like it feels even worse because you're trying to make me feel romantic after you've destroyed it. Like it's the energy going, you're trying to make me feel romantic after you already destroyed it, right? So there's a lot of this like energetic damage control here. And I can see a lot of energy being like, I don't, and I hear the energy say, it's not romantic, it's tragic. That's why I keep on hearing the energy say, it's not romantic, it's heartbreaking. A heart that sees something heartbreaking, but it sees something that is heartbreaking, but isn't broken in the process. Continuing to get clarification. And that's why I see even now, if like I can almost see some energy like letting out like laughter to a certain extent, being like, are you kidding me right now? Like that's the energy going, like that's the energy being like, are this like what? Like I can see the energy being like, like it's almost like it's frustrating. It's like I can see the energy having a reason to be upset, right? Like continuing to get clarification between the Wheel of Fortune in combination with the Knight of Pentacles. Like this is the thing, it's about timing. Like like what? Like you, and I can hear the energy saying you had that the whole time. You could have done that the entire time. Like this is the energy that says you give something after somebody's reached their end of their patience. That's the energy saying you like I keep on hearing the energy go the whole time. Yeah, that's it. Look at that. Wheel of Fortune with the Death card. And this is why we're seeing even now, like that's that moment that like, and that's the thing about it. It's like when someone waits until you've reached the culmination of your patience to only bring you something that that you've been asking for. This is the energy that does. I keep on hearing the energy saying it's not romantic, it's tragic, because that gives an indication that you could have done it the whole time. You just waited until the volatility point to almost like, again, it almost like, that's why I mean, it's like the energy, like it feels like I keep on seeing the energy say it like you have like this doesn't fix it. This reaffirms the fact that it's energetically over, right? It's like it's just like it's a lot of that, because I keep on hearing the difference. Like this is the Wheel of Fortune with the Death card. This is Scorpio working. This is Scorpio working with Pisces here, right? What is Scorpio working with Pisces keep saying? A surplus of something is not transformation. Having a lot of something is not changing something, right? Again and again, admission is not transformation. Being finally able to admit what another person knew, right, is not something that changes a situation. It's that's why I keep on hearing we're having different conversations. And meanwhile, at the same time, I see, and this is the beneficial point for a lot of the energy in separation, building into new healthy relationships, where I hear someone saying, you don't need to explain something to me. I understand it. Right? I can see this energy working in that space of saying, like, there's not, like, I can hear the energy saying to another, like, there's nothing worse than the definition between, like, I hear the energy saying we're finishing each other's sentences. You don't need to tell me about it. I know it. Like, I keep on hearing, I know it all too well. For the energy coming into divine union, this is the gift. This is the painful gift. This is why there's so many karmic dreams that are happening right now. And I keep on hearing the painful gift that often happens when we enter into healthy partnership is suddenly seeing something that we either owe an apology to another upon, or we know we are owed an apology on. What we carry, I keep on hearing, we put those apologies on the altar of the self. Why do we put the apologies on the altar of the self? Because we have been changed by them. We continue, we live by them. Should the day ever arrive that we can extend them or receive them, we will, but we won't search for them because it's not necessary. And often in the moment that we try to get something off our chest, we understand that we open something up in the progress. That in the moment that we try to get something off our chest to culminate our healing, we sometimes inadvertently create a wound in another in the process. So this is why there's a lot of those lessons that are occurring right now in relationality to spiritual discernment. While for masculine and feminine energy deep within divine union right now, I keep on hearing circumnavigation. Right? Like it's navigating through frustration. It's working in that context of saying, or having conversations saying, I wish I could talk to this person about this, but I'm trying to navigate what feels like it's helpful versus what feels like it's not. Right. And sometimes it's frustrating, but I feel like there's a lot of transformation. Like this is the Renaissance energy I was telling you about for the energy deep within divine union. It's like looking at things in new ways, right? Like trying to find the words, continuing to get clarification between our Knight of Pentacles in combination with our Ace of Swords. Yeah, Moon card in its reversal. The gift that all of this Aries energy is giving us right now is clarity. And the thing about it, and I got to tell you, like, this is the thing with like Pisces to Aries. And I like to describe this. I like to describe like Pisces to Aries energy. You ever seen that still from It's Always Sunny with Charlie looking at the wall with all the chords and pictures? Charlie's like, it's all connected. And what does Max say? What are you doing? And that's like the conversation between Pisces and Aries, because Pisces is like, yeah, you can sit there and make all the connections you want, but if as everything falls, that's a perfect description of it. But that's the thing. That's what Mac tries to, the perfect analogy. That's what Mac says to, that's what like Mac tries to say to Charlie. Like, yeah, but if it doesn't serve you in a positive, productive way, respectfully, who cares? like respectfully, who cares? It doesn't matter if everything is connected if you can't find something productive to do with it, right? It's like, okay, like Mac doesn't have time for it, because that's like the thing about it. It's like, and that's a little bit of this like energy here, which is like, it's trying to move something into it. Like, it doesn't matter. It's like the kid, like Aries is looking at the Pisces energy, like the emotions, like the kids that get in the car. And they're like, listen, you guys can argue all you want about what on earth you're arguing about. Get in the car. Like, just get in the car. I swear to, like, it's a lot of that. Like, you gotta, like, just do it, right? It's not about how you feel about it. It's about getting it done. And the thing is, I keep on seeing a lot of energy lingering in Pisces right now. And this is why there's a lot of arguments, feeling like you're having different arguments with someone being like, I want to talk about how we feel. And the energy that's more in Aries is like, I don't feel like talking about how you feel doesn't get anything done. like, I don't want to swim unless we're swimming across the channel. I don't want to look at the fish. Like, this is the Aries going, like, this is like some of the energies, right? Look at all the fish. And Aries like, I'm not trying to look at the fish. We're not scuba diving. We're swimming across the channel. Focus. Continuing to get clarification between our Ace of Swords and our Four of Pentacles. You see, this is it. Let's go scuba diving. No, we're not going scuba diving. Look at the fish. No, we're going somewhere. Like, this is not sight. It's like, there's a lot of arguing right now as to like whether energy is like sightseeing. And it could be, I could even see people trying to plan trips and arguing about the nature of trips with this type of energy. Right? Yeah, like there's that Queen of Pentacles energy, and I like this. Look at this. We've got all this counterpart energy right now. We got Knight of Pentacles in its reversal, Queen of Pentacles in its upright. I don't mind seeing them in converse relationships, because again, the counterparts don't need to be in the same space. They bring out each other's, like they serve, they find, like, I keep on getting healthy relationship is actively paying attention to what another needs and bringing it forward, right? And so everything I keep seeing here is like the only space, and I keep on hearing, like, this is why, because there's a lot of arguing right now. There's a lot of arguing happening right now in separation. I hear a lot of arguments, and I hear a lot of energy saying, I'm not going to argue with something. I'm not going to argue something with you that I know is sacred. I'm not going to tell you, I'm not going to, like, I see this energy saying, that's why I keep on hearing the energy in separation saying, don't get it twisted, right? Because that's the energy that, again, like I keep on hearing, like the difference between someone saying, I feel a lot of something, and someone being like, you feeling a lot of something was not the issue. The issue was where it was going. The issue is what it is. And if this is the energy saying, I'm finally willing to call it something, this is the energy that says, willing to call it something isn't talking about how it fixes it, right? It feels like this is the energy that says it shouldn't feel like you're relenting, right? This isn't, I keep on hearing, this isn't a negotiation. A healthy manifestation doesn't feel like a negotiation. A healthy manifestation should feel like a parade. We're doing, I keep on hearing the energy go, it's like a healthy manifestation should feel like a parade, right? And when you're trying to figure out where something's going, it can't be a parade. The nice thing about a parade, I got to point this out. Parade is like, you ever notice a parade? It's got a place that starts. It's got a place that stops, right? And when you know the destination of something, you can enjoy every step of the journey, right? The relationship that you're constantly questioning it feels like you're constantly asking for directions and someone refuses to tell you is often indicative of a manifestation that another person either doesn't know themselves enough, so they're not willing to commit on path work, or again, creates confusion, creates uncertainty, and it's unnecessary. Right? And that's the energy that, again, if that's that moment, that at the moment that someone is finally done, someone finally arrives with the thing that they've been asking for, this is the energy that says, have you been having that in your pocket the whole time? Where was that when I needed it? Right? Like this is the energy that says, where was that when I needed it? Right? That's the energy that literally says, you've shown me more in giving me something that I've been begging for only at the time that I say that I've ended it than you ever did in all those moments that, again, this is the energy that sees immediately that moment of clarity between what another person was able to bring forth versus what it is that they found. Like, this is the energy that says you are incrementally, intentionally slowing down progress. You know, like that's the energy that says you are not building a parade, you're dropping breadcrumbs, right? That doesn't feel like a parade. I hear the energy keep on going. This isn't a parade, you're dropping breadcrumbs. Continuing, and this is why I see that for a lot of the energy right now coming into divine union, a lot of that healing feels like it's transformative, because I just keep on seeing for masculine and feminine energy, this is the energy that says, and this is why I keep on hearing this energy say, I hold apologies sacred and they are within me, right? Because this is the energy that says, rest assured, the respect we give each other is the clarity of where we are, right? Being able to articulate clearly the question that always has an answer. This is the energy that says that that clarity is the gift that they bring not only to themselves, but to all the circumstances around them. Because this is the energy that says, I do not exist in a space. I keep on hearing, like, the healthy energy recognizes that, and I keep on hearing there's something about surprise. You can build pathwork of knowing what is going to happen and still have surprises along the way. Right? The difference between a shock and a surprise is that space of feeling I keep on hearing, is feeling the rare delight of something that doesn't feel like it immediately changes a direction of something. Right? Like, so a surprise is beautiful. I keep on hearing a surprise is almost beautiful in a way because there's a part of it that feels like you're able to just embody the delight of something, right? A shock is something that feels like it doesn't make any sense, right? And I keep on hearing there's a lot of energy right now that's working through the difference between a shock and a surprise, right? And a lot of that is, I keep on seeing, navigating the delight. And I keep on hearing, like, I literally see new energetic connections that are building like pleasant surprises for each other. But understanding, like I keep on hearing, healthy pathwork also makes room for surprises. It doesn't feel like it's constantly shocking us, right? And that's it. Like, when someone's constantly shocking us, they'll try to tell us that they were trying to keep it a surprise. And the energy is saying, I can tell the difference between a shock and a surprise, right? Like a surprise is not something like, that's the thing. A surprise is a gift because it feels like we're already happy and it's unexpected. A shock is something that just creates more confusion in us because, again, trauma is a space where no sense exists, right? There's no hope in trauma. There's no understanding. There's no ability to see beyond what's going to happen next, right? Unhealthy partnership requires us to abandon our hope because we have to let go of any kind of feeling of security. We're just existing in the moment and perseverating about what's going to happen next. So we just keep on seeing that there's a lot of this work here that is being amplified and articulated as it relates to a lot of energy healing from trauma by finding energy that is in that same pathwork of same. Well, this is why I keep on seeing that there's a lot of that energy that's holding a lot of that work as it relates to apology and saying, holding the day sacred and saying, should the day come that I can expend that to another, that I can expound upon it, I would feel surprised and delighted to do so, but I'm not going to shock them with it. Right? That's why the energy is holding the apology, because the energy says, I would like that to be a moment that if I am surprised by encountering an energy, I will share it with them, but I'm not going to chase after them and shock them with my apology. Right? Again, emotional and spiritual discernment. While for a lot of the energy deep within divine union, I just keep on seeing that for a lot of the energy deep within divine union right now, it's a lot of that work of recognizing what feels like it's productive versus what feels like it's not. I keep on seeing a lot of the energy right now deep within divine union, concentrating on efficiencies and practicalities, continuing to get clarification between, I like this, death card in its upright with the moon card in its reversal. One card to clarify, please. Page of Swords. There's so much, oh man, there's so much sword energy here. So this is all that Aries energy. I mean, and listen, and I'm going to tell you right now, I can see a lot of energy crossing wires between someone being passionate and another person being like, why are you so angry? Right? Passion is explainable. When we feel passion for something, right? Passion is something that we express with a great degree of like feeling because we know something is important, right? Anger is when we're feeling triggered. Anger is what comes out when we're afraid. And so I keep on seeing a lot of energy saying, why are you so angry? Trying to make another person angry and being like, this isn't anger. This is passion. This is because I can articulate on something that is important, right? And I keep on seeing that there's a lot of, I'm not surprised to see this with all of that work with the Mars retrograde, the difference between confrontational conversations that have to do with the difference between fear and bravery. Right? And often I like to point this out, the energy that navigates from a place of fear, they like to project that out onto others, right? They like to blame others, or they like to overly blame the self. But when we're in a space that we are self-aware, again, fear makes our hands free, right? Projecting frees us of having to do anything. We're no longer accountable. We say the problem's you, right? Over-internalizing frees us. This is how, I guess I'm always like this. You can't handle me at my worst. I'm the worst, right? That's convenient, and so you will be, right? Because it's a space of like leaving one's hands free that often indicates and articulates about the fact that when we are focused on solutions, we're not always looking for reasons why something is the way it is. We're looking as to how it changes, right? And so again, when we're not solution focused, we will perseverate on the reason why something is the way it is instead of building into the concept of what it could take to change it, right? And that's why I keep on seeing this energy. That's why I heard a lot of the Aries saying nobody wants to work anymore, because this is the Aries that says, rest assured, I don't come towards another demanding something. I come to another to say, I'm ready to work. Like Aries goes, I'm ready to work. Like I don't tell them I have a lot of something. I don't give them the emotions and being like, here, you carry them. My Aries like shows up on the door. Aries shows up at your door and says, I'm ready to work. What do you got? What do you need me to do? Continuing to get clarification between the moon card in its reversal and the Queen of Pentacles in its upright. Oh, I already hear it. I already know where this is going. Not tell me what to do. Not tell me what to do, right? Not tell me what to do. Knowing what to do. You know, I keep on seeing this energy, and this is why I keep on seeing it. If there's someone that's trying to fix something with another and saying, just tell me what to do, the energy is looking at another and saying, there's no hope for you, because this is the energy that says you shouldn't, it's not about, I keep on hearing like the energy saying it's not about surrender, right? It's not about surrender. It's not about, surrender is not giving up. Surrender is not the space that we come to another and say, I'll do anything, right? That is not healthy. That's not a healthy relationship, right? It's not healthy when someone says, just tell me what to do, I'll do anything, right? It's the energy that says, I understand. I understand where the work begins. I understand why it's important. I'm doing this work. And I keep on hearing, an apology, a true apology is a plan. And the reason a true apology is a plan is it's not conditional upon whether another person receives or accepts it. We do the work on ourselves for ourselves. And that is like, that's why I keep on seeing that a lot of this energy is saying, like, this is the energy saying, I wasn't waiting for an apology. I was waiting for progress. And that's why the energy coming into divine union is saying, I'm not chasing for apologies because I'm actively in the space of progress. While for the energy deep within divine union, I just keep on seeing a lot of the energy in divine union saying, yeah, I'm not gonna spend my time arguing with someone that doesn't get it. You either get it or you don't. Like the energy going, you either get it or you don't. Because the only thing more foolish than arguing with the fool is being the person arguing with the fool. The only person more foolish than arguing with the fool is the person arguing with the fool. Final card for today's spread, between our Page of Swords and its upright, in combination with our Six of Cups and its reversal. Yeah, the thing. The seven, and then we want to. Boy, we want to. When someone's not making sense, that's the problem with trauma, man. It is so tempting, right? When trauma's there, it's so tempting. Someone just like completely, just completely. And I got to tell you, I'm going to say it again. Trauma is built upon and based upon things that do not make sense. Trauma is pain that does not make any sense. Often you will stay in traumatic situations and you will try to use logic to fix the trauma. You bring reason to trauma and say, okay, well, at least if I bring the reason to the trauma, I can heal. You cannot heal. If someone is in a space where they're not making any logical sense, there is no level or degree of logic, because they're already telling you that they're not operating within it. It's like hungry hippo. It doesn't matter. And in fact, you're going to feel, the only thing right about it is you're going to feel like you're going nuts in the process of having the conversation. You know what I mean? Like that's why they're saying the only thing more foolish than arguing with the fool is the person that's arguing with them, right? It's like it's a lot of that type of work. So that's why I see even now, that's why I keep on hearing a lot of energy that's coming into that space of saying this is ridiculous, right? And this is the reason the energy is saying ridiculous, because they're saying like there's no logic here. Like what you're doing isn't logical, and something that you brought forth is just re-amplifying the lack of logic, right? As well as new energetic connections that are healing via looking and being able to talk about the trauma that brought them into separation in the first place. For a lot of the energy coming into divine union, I just keep on seeing that a lot of that energy is in a space right now where, that's why I keep on hearing this is the energy that says I will. This is why the energy right now coming into divine union is very much embodying the pathwork of Chiron. I got to tell you right now, sometimes when we heal, we discover wounds we did not know were there. And this is the energy that says, I will hold those wounds within me. And should the day come that I can give that elixir to that person, I will. But I will not chase after them, because a lot of that space is identifying and recognizing that, again, sometimes when we get something off our chest, we hurt another inadvertently in the progress. And this is the energy that says, that's trying to, and that's why I would not be surprised if there are dreams right now where you can't remember them. Because sometimes when I see work like this, guides are like, we're going to keep that one in the dream space. Like someone literally came towards you in the dream space with instructions that they weren't trying to hurt you. So we're not going to let you remember that one, because that was literally their request. Well, for a lot of this energy deep within divine union, I keep on seeing this energy that's working really hard on not being triggered. And a lot of that, it's very hard. And I see that's why it feels like it's Renaissance energy, because I keep on seeing this energy say, help me find the words. Help me find a way to articulate about something that I haven't felt or seen before. Bottom of the deck. I love it. I love it. I'm sorry for those who are following the podcast. The bottom of the deck is the Fool card. The bottom of the deck is the Fool card. And we love the Fool card here, right? Because it's the same message, which is, again, the only thing more foolish than someone coming towards you like foolishly is when you try to argue with a fool. Like when someone is coming towards you and they're not making any sense. And then you find yourself deeply invested in trying to bring sense to something that doesn't make any sense. And this is what I told you about a little bit of the beauty. I would not be surprised right now if you're having some disassociative moments where you just look at what you're doing, right? Trying to understand something. And Mac just goes, what are you doing? Right? Because I'm telling you, sometimes this Aries energy requires that point of disassociating. Because, like, again, like, what does Charlie do? Charlie's like, I think I figured out. Like, I think I found something logical in all of this illogic, right? And Mac just looks at him and goes, "What are you doing?" Like, progress is progress, right? And again, this has to do with a lot of Aries and Gemini energy. Which is, again, the thing with Aries and Gemini is recognizing and identifying everything is possible. Like Aries and Gemini do not believe that failure exists. Aries and Gemini like navigate by trying to understand what's worth the effort, right? And so that's why I keep on seeing like that's like something that's important. And I got to stress this. Oh, this what just happened. The Fool card fell to the floor. King of Swords was beneath it. We've got almost the entire King's Sword suite out, right? It's about intention, right? Understanding the nature of something does not create intention. Understanding the reasons why someone isn't doing something does not suddenly make intention materialize out of thin air. So that's why I feel like this is why I see like, there's a lot of that work of Aries and Gemini, like working in collaboration, because they're saying even understanding why someone isn't coming towards you the way that it does, it might help you, but it doesn't fix the situation. Fixing the situation fixes the situation. That is our daily collective read for today. I want to thank you guys so much for being here to experience it. Just a reminder, if you would like to book a private reading with me, you can book one on my site. Please keep in mind, if you book a private reading with me, it is a 2-step process. You have to book the reading, you have to pay for the reading. Please make sure you do both if you'd like to have that reading. Most importantly, please remember, I will never, ever, 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 ever reach out to you for a private reading. I will never DM you. I will never PM you. I will never slide into your inbox and tell you that I have a very important message that only I can deliver. The only way you can book a reading with me is if you book one on my website, so I would encourage you to do it there. Also, a couple of updates before we move into personal readings today. Thank you to everyone who attended our recent class on the Wheel of Fortune. Our next class will be held on Wednesday, March 19th at 6 p.m. PST, 9 p.m. Eastern. We will be continuing our journey into the tarot with a focus on the Justice card. If you would like to become a part of our tarot class program, all you need to do is head over to my Substack and become a paid subscriber. Your paid subscription to my Substack is your ticket of entry into our live classes each and every month. You will also have access to over 9 hours worth of material in the Tarot Church Library. Now, it's not necessary to be able to have to catch up. I'll do my best in each class to give you updates on everything that we've studied thus far, but the material is there for you to receive when you're ready to receive it. You'll also have access to, as a paid subscriber, a one-on-one chat with me and the other students to ask any questions that you may have in relation to anything that we've studied thus far. And if you become a founding member to my Substack, not only will you receive a discount on the full year's worth of classes, but you will also receive full access to the entirety of the Tarot Church Library archive. You will also have access to a one-on-one mentorship class with me, wherein I will assess where you are on your personal tarot journey and give you the best insights in terms of how to utilize those classes to the best of your advantage going forward. One of the things I tried to do in these classes was make them accessible to the absolute novice tarot reader as well as the seasoned reader. There's definitely something there for everyone. Don't let your robust experience or your lack of experience prevent you from joining our classes. I also want to encourage you that even if you don't become a paid subscriber to my Substack, to make sure that you're following me there to stay up to date on any new offerings and services. I also post my weekly newsletter there, which will let me know about my in-person events as well as my online live schedule. Finally, I want to let you guys know that on top of my standard life path readings, I also offer mentorship classes. These are for any of my clients seeking a more personalized educational experience with me. I take a very limited number of students for this reason, as those classes are focused on each individual's personal tarot girls and spiritual journey. Those classes can be purchased on an individual level or as a monthly class series, weekly or bi-weekly as your schedule permits. Also, for my clients that are seeking more consistent weekly tarot support, I'm very happy to offer weekly tarot insight packages. That is a package of 4 30-minute readings, again, weekly or bi-weekly as your schedule permits, so that you can stay more consistent on your personal journey. I want to thank you guys so much for being here today and sharing in these messages, and we will do this again